Never send an angry email. That's tough advice, but it's good advice. My name is Bruce Rule. I'm a writer and editor, and I help my clients with basically all their communication needs, whether it's social media, reports, articles, speeches, anything that they need written or edited, I deal with. I also teach public speaking in workshops and with individual clients. And I recently published a book called Heartfelt Goodbye, How to Write and Deliver the Eulogy Your Loved One Deserves, which has gotten a lot of good reviews, especially from people who are buying it ahead of time because they know that their parents are older or they've got a sick spouse or something, and they're preparing ahead of time, which I think is a very good thing because these things happen and it's better to be prepared than not. Getting to the point of what I wanted to say about writing an angry email, I almost made that mistake recently. And I wanted to explain to you what happened because there's a couple things going on with faulty communication and also how to try to salvage the situation. I was on a conference call and I went to make a proposal about something. And the person cut me off halfway through what I was about to say and started arguing why that didn't make any sense. No, we're not doing that. And I got defensive. First, because the person cut me off, which, is kind of impolite. But more importantly, because he made an assumption about what I was going to say and started arguing that misassumption. So he was going down a wrong path completely, arguing that I wanted to do something that I didn't want to do, and he was arguing against it. And I tried to steer it back. But, quite frankly, once somebody does that to you, they're not going to listen. Because now you're arguing first to try to get them off the wrong path and then on the right path. And then you're going to try to advocate for what you want. It's too much. Most people are not going to pay attention. Once they've made it in their mind, once they've decided what you wanted to say and they're arguing against it, they're not listening. So I tried to shut it down. I said, no, forget it. Let's just drop it. Kept going. Tried to stop it again. And somebody else in the group jumped in and started arguing on that person's side. So now I had two people arguing against me on something I hadn't even planned on proposing. I said, no, shut it down. No, I don't want anything to do with it. Needless to say, the call ended very unsatisfactorily for me. They probably thought, well, good, shut that down. But it wasn't what I was going to propose, and I felt very disrespected. The temptation in a situation like that is to write an angry email to them because you don't want to let it go. The fact of the matter is that's a bad thing to do because your emotions are high and you just don't want to be that angry when you write an email. So here's what I always do in those situations. And this is what I suggest you do. I always wait a day. And then what I do is I write an email where I go through the specifics and say, this happened, this happened, this happened. This is how I felt about these things. And then I let it sit for a little bit. Because you know what happens when you write down exactly what happened? It kind of puts the other person on defense. You cut me off. You argued something I wasn't even going to propose. You suggested this against me, and I wasn't even thinking that. It's pretty provocative. So you know what I do after I've written it? I show it to a third person. You must have somebody in your life who you can trust and say, look, this is what happened. Read this email. Tell me how to tone it down. Tell me to get the emotion out of it. In my case, it's my wife. She looked at it. She said, "Oh yeah, this is too provocative. He's going to get very defensive. I understand why you're upset, but the fact is you don't want to just upset him again. So she toned it down a little bit, sent it back to me. I looked at it. I thought it was too toned down, so I added some stuff in, sent it back to her. We went back and forth 3 times on it till we drained it of all the angry emotion, but added in my points that I wanted to get across to that other person and made it clear that I was doing this because I wanted to keep the relationship solid. I didn't want to lose the relationship. And that was a very key thing. I started the email with something that was positive about what happened on the call and what that person did on the call. I ended the email with, I'm only bringing this up because I want to have a congenial relationship. I want the group to get along, and we've been together a long time. I don't want there to be sour feelings in the future. I'm looking forward to the next time we talk. In between, I had detailed what I was unhappy about, but I detailed it very unemotionally. And that was the key. That's why you want to go through the revisions. That's why you want to wait. You want to drain the emotion out of it so that you can just explain what happened, why you were not happy with what happened. Now, I sent this off. I haven't heard back from him. I don't know if I will. We'll see what happens next conference call, whether or not he'll act the same, whether or not he'll say something to me, I don't know. But the fact is, I felt a lot better having told him this. And if he doesn't, if he does it again, now I've got a reason to say, hey, what's going on here? That's my advice this week. Don't send angry emails. Make your point emotionless as possible, but make your point. That's important. Don't let people treat you poorly. Make your point, but keep the emotion out of it. What do you think? How do you handle a situation like that? I'd be curious because I may not have handled it the best way possible. And let me know if you ever get the book and review it. I'd really appreciate that. Please like and share this video because I think it's helpful, and hit the subscribe button because that's helpful for YouTube and me. Until next week, take care.